Hey folks, Hammeh here, how's it going? We're going to be jumping in and having a look at the Overwatch Collector's Edition Visual Source Book. Now this comes with the Collector's Edition of Overwatch, it's very, very awesome. There's some really cool things in it, so I can't wait to show it to you. First, I've already removed this little plastic sleeve, as you can see. It's got a big Overwatch logo on the front, so if you can see the fingerprints. For me, I'm shelling that in my eagerness to get in to the action. But as you can see with the source book, this is a really, really nice book. It's got a nice matte feel on the front. It's got an embossed Overwatch that you can see there. And here, this art has been shown a few places online, but effectively it's the entire heroes and villains lineup of Overwatch all cascading across the page from the left to the right. Just going to lift it up a little bit towards the camera so you can hopefully get a little bit of a better look at that. The poster that I'm using underneath here, by the way, is not part of the actual CE, just so you know. I got it from the Overwatch All-Stars event in London that I went to the other day, which was much fun. So there we go. We're going to crack this open without further ado. So you've got a nice couple of orange style matte paper Overwatch pages style there. See the introduction to Visual Source Book as well, of course. And we get stuck in there. There's a nice little foreword in there, and it is from none other from the Overwatch team. I will not read all of this out, but what I will do is try and show some of it online in similar places in future. So that's actually a nice silvery effect page, as you can see, really, really nice. This feels like a lovely premium book. I'm a big fan of my art books and things, by the way, so I was very excited about this. We have an overview, we have heroes, environments and credits, as you can see from this main title page. Don't worry about these left pages. We're going to be jumping in and having a look at those in more detail as well, where it makes sense. Now, the first thing I want to shout out is this lovely overview page. Now, you can probably see from this art, you can see Tracer, Reyes there to become Reaper, Winston, Anna Amari, Farazman. We then have a couple of bigwigs shaking hands, Omnic and Human, and then if we pan over to the right, we have Morrison, we have Mercy, and then we have Reinhardt, and in the back I think we also have McCree, as you can see by the hat as well, which is very cool. Now, if you're not familiar with this image, this is in the Are You With Us Overwatch trailer, showing off the glory days of Overwatch. So this is, we don't know the date of this image, but it's a really cool image. Obviously you can see that Tracer is joined in by then. Remember the original strike team we now know as 6 people. Anna Amari, Reyes, Morrison, Reinhardt. Torbjorn is not here. It's kind of interesting. I wonder why Torbjorn is not here. So this was probably later on in Overwatch's history, but I really love that. I'm just going to pan that over so you can see the full goodness of that. You can actually see this if you're going to have a look at the Are You With Us trailer online. You can see the colour version of this, and there is a colour version later in the book. Now, Overwatch is back. This is a blog that was actually released, or someone posted on Reddit on launch day, on Tuesday when Overwatch came out. It was then, I think, removed, and then it turned up again on the 27th of May. So you can see all of this text online, and you can see some of these images online as well. This is from the Are You With Us trailer, I think, as well. You can see some of these images in the bottom right here from the original cinematic trailer, as are indeed these ones here. So this blog is effectively talking about the museum raid, and the release of this blog takes us all the way back to the BlizzCon 2014 announcement of Overwatch and the original cinematic trailer. I'd go have a look at that, it's really cool. But effectively this talks about the glory days of the strike team, the Omnic crisis. It talks a bit more about the Omnica Corporation, which is an interesting insight into the nature of Omnics for us. Omnics are kind of like a brand, so people would have known robots as Omnics at one point. Omniums, therefore, from the Omnica Corporation, make Omnics. Makes perfect sense. What was interesting here, we've covered in another video, I do believe, is the origins of the Omnic crisis, and we'll go to that. Actually, it's on the next page, but this image I quite like. This is also, I believe, in the Are You With Us trailer, or maybe the Coke Esports trailer. I can't remember which off the top of my head, but we see this in full colour. We've seen zoomed in cropped images of this in animation, and then we actually can see in the background now that this is actually within the city skyline. This image we saw against a coloured backdrop before, but we can now see this in a city context. So this is original strike team -1, Liao. We don't know who Liao is, but we're going to hopefully find that out in future. I'll show you that on the next page. But anyway, this image we've seen before. It's cool to see it in its city context. We have not seen that before, which is kind of cool. Original cinematic trailer, talking about the heralding of Overwatch here in this page. The interesting thing in this text, Liao is in here. So we've covered this in a different video, but this blog mentions 6 original founding members of Overwatch. So the 5 we know, Liao is the new one. I've covered that in a separate video. I've linked it below. Go find it on the channel in the lore playlist. But very, very cool. So all of this is a blog that you can go and find on the Overwatch website. This again from the original trailer. I'm going to skip through this, but it then covers the fall, brings us to the present day. This is by Olympia Shaw of Atlas News, basically sort of saying, does the world need heroes again? Should we judge today's heroes? People maybe such as Diva, such as Lucio, these are all name checked in the blog. Finally May as well, even though she was technically part of Overwatch as their environmental division, citing new people and saying, should we judge these new heroes on the failings of the old? Very, very cool. So a nice way to start the book. We then jump into heroes. Now, this art looks like, yep, this is a part of the cover art, but then it's the embossed silvering style, so really nice. I'm just going to zoom in and try and tip that so you can just see the sort of effect against the light there. It's really cool. I'm sorry if the focus isn't bang on. I'm using a webcam for this rather than the DSLR, but that's the front cover art in a silver embossed style, as you can probably just see a little bit against the light there. Really love it. Okay, so into heroes. So what I should say about hero pages, what I'm going to do with these is call out things that are a bit new or different, because most of the text is the bios that you can actually see on the website. So if you want to go check all of that detail out, go check it out on the website. I'm going to be calling out art, calling out cool things as we skip through these at reasonable pace. We start with Bastion. Pretty cool. You can see a sort of origin style art here. The origin, the sort of overgrown Bastion, which is cool. You get that as the origin skin. That's pretty much just Bastion apart from that. I do like the little logo down there. And each hero gets 2 pages, which is cool. So you get art pieces, and then you get an overview of their abilities, you get a few other bits and bobs. So it's kind of cool here, for example, to see his configuration tank broken down. You can see his recon SMG and various bits broken down and that, and then sort of zooms in of some really nice pieces of art there. Little sketches as well. In a lot of these hero pages, you do see sketches that you may not have seen other places before. So those are pretty cool. Okay, Diva. Nothing massively new art-wise here. This is all beautifully presented. You get the base of operations, the affiliation. Again, this is all the hero bio, this kind of stuff. Cool little map. You may note here, if I just quickly zoom in, you see a little map of the world there, just in the middle, and then there's a little silver Overwatch logo showing where that person's based. So that's quite a nice little show for that too. Diva art we're familiar with. You of course get the cool little hero icons in the bottom right. Diva playing to win. What I like about most of the pages, and I'll call them out as we show them, is that you see weapons breakdowns. So some of this you can actually see in the cosplay reference kits that are on the media section of the Overwatch site. So if you wonder where to see some of these assets in future, and you don't have the collector's edition, go and have a look at the cosplay kits. So that's the Overwatch website. Go into media. You can find cosplay reference kits for every character that Blizzard have made. Some of this is in there, which is very cool. This image is pretty cool. You see this from Diva sort of looking face on. I think you see that at the end of the BlizzCon 2015 trailer when they confirmed the hero lineup. Very nice. Typical picture of Diva here. Diva out of Mech, pretty cool. Diva's sponsors up in the top right here. You can see, well, Mecha, Diva's trademark bunny logo, and a few other bits and bobs. Next up, we're on to Genji, everyone's favourite green cyborg ninja dude. Some pretty cool art of Genji here. One of his bio, you can see him, I'm guessing that's Hammeh in the background here. It's a nice little coloured piece there. And what I really like here is you see, I think it's the Sparrow and the young Genji skins art, which is pretty cool. You can see a bit more about his swords. Now, when I did the Genji voice lines video, some of you jumped in and said that his sword is called Ryuchimonji. Hammeh says in a really bad Japanese pronunciation. Totally correct. You can see it's called out there, Ryuchimonji, and he also carries a traditional wakizashi at his side. There you go. So he's got not only his original sword, and I think the kind of cool thing here, it says Ryuchimonji, Genji's private weapon, and no one else has ever been allowed to examine it or repair it. So it's Genji's and Genji's alone. I really, really like that. The nice young Genji art here, this is cool. You can actually see, interesting in terms of his sort of shoes, feet, legs kind of thing there. I'm not entirely sure if those are cyberized or not. We see a lot of people in Overwatch who have cybernetic augmentations, like McCree, for example, with his cybernetic or robot hand and, engineered hand and similar. So a lot of people find these kind of details interesting. I'm just going to quickly zoom in on that for you. I don't know if that means Genji had an accident when he was young or if he's just wearing a very fancy pair of boots. But you can actually see his legs there. They're pretty cyber to me, but I'm going to have a look at that properly later. Speculate at your own risk. Nothing confirmed. Traditional art of Hanzo. And then I like this illustrated style of Hanzo here as well. Just going to zoom that in a little bit so you can have a little bit of a better look. Come on, focus. There we go. So yeah, a nice illustrated Hanzo there as well. We can then see on the left page here. A whole bunch of his weaponry, sonic arrow, things like that. The nice tattoo sleeve detailing, which is cool, which you can see all along the sleeve here. And then of course we also get a little bit in the middle here, if I just zoom in, of young Hansel as well, with the red sleeving detail on his arm there too. So these are the kind of illustrations that in the source book are really, really nifty. Really like them. Bit of Junkrat, pretty much all traditional Junkrat arts. Not quite sure where that one's from, as much as I'd love to be an art guru. There are better people in the community at that than I. But you can see some cool stuff. So obviously Junkrat had a moment in crime trailer. If you've not watched that, go and find it on the Overwatch YouTube, real cool. It's a little mini short about Junkrat and Roadhog's crime spree, which I kind of enjoy. You then have the map in the middle here, which was them plotting to, I think, raid Dorado, El Banco and similar, which is kind of cool. I think you see that somewhere in Dorado, or it used to be. Again, need to test my memory there. This is from Partners in Crime, Moments in Crime, sorry, assembly instructions for all of his crazy traps and things. Okay, some Lucio time. All kind of traditional Lucio art there. The thing that I liked on this next page is these are like the illustrated, I think either these are sprays or they're in some art that we've seen. You can see Synesthesia Auditiva. Now there's 2 free Lucio tracks. If you actually go on SoundCloud, go and Google, you can find some of Lucio's album. The Overwatch guys released that a bunch of time ago when Lucio was sort of being bounced around, an out-of-world way of introducing him. Quite cool songs. So yeah, I'd go and have a look for those. And then you can see a bit more of the sonic amplifier, the kind of tech that's been stolen, of course, from Vishkar, we know for this. Hard light skates, blades are projections of hard light allowing for quick movement across all surfaces. There you go, that proves Conan O'Brien wrong. Lucio can move across non-hard surfaces as well. Next up we've got McCree. McCree looking pretty cool there. Okay, next up we've got McCree looking pretty cool there in his typical art. You've got maybe a bit of Deadlock Gorge, or his homeland, of course, Santa Fe, New Mexico is where he's based at the moment, which is real cool. And then I love these cartoon stylized versions as well. Now I can't remember if these have been used in places. I think maybe either these are just direct pulls. If I just go to the source cover, they are, yeah, they're the versions that are used on the source cover. All of these cartoon stylized ones. Or I say cartoon, that's the wrong word. I should say illustrated stylized ones, but they're very, very awesome indeed. Can have a look at McCree. Now the nice thing I see here, of course, if you have a look at this, you can see this on the Overwatch Twitter. It was used to tease McCree. It was McCree saving a ramen truck, I believe. McCree's bounty is $60 million, so that wanted poster of McCree there. Clearly he's a very valuable bounty to get. Then I like this sort of illustrated just headshot of McCree as well. You can also see his flashbangs, non-lethal grenades once employed by Overwatch. Interesting. So McCree is using a bit of a ex-Overwatch technology there in his flashbangs. Obviously, McCree used to work for Blackwatch, Overwatch's sort of dark ops division that was commanded by Rares before he became Reaper. Hopefully we'll find out some more on that backstory. May, everyone's favourite punster, and in some cases memester. Nothing too new on those pages, but you'll generally sort of see a hero render and then some other art. Now, the cool stuff of this concept art was actually shown. These art pieces were shown, I believe, at BlizzCon in the sort of new heroes panel when May was announced. So we have seen these before. What we haven't seen, I think, is these close-ups. I've not seen these close-ups of the endothermic blaster that she has for freezing all kinds of things, creating giant ice. And I like this ice wall. I'm just going to zoom in a bit on that ice wall there for all you May fans. You can see like a little concept of an ice wall, and then just a little person stuck behind it in the middle there. Very, very cool. And the other thing I have not spotted is in the background here. There's a little chibi icon, a little chibi of May, if I sort of a chibi style illustration, which is kind of cool. Not seen that one before. Very, very awesome. Love that. For all of you May's Bay fans, there you go. Next we've got Angela Ziegler, Swiss Mercy, Swiss German Mercy. So this is the art that came out with release, announce, in terms of the hero illustrations. I like this art, it's very cool. So we jump in with Mercy, we get a few things. We see a headshot of her that we've not seen before, sort of a bit more of an in-depth shot of the back of her wings, the Valkyrie swift response suit and all of the different things. Limited propulsion through the air, wings increased drag, greatly slowing falling speeds. That gives you a drift down. Mercy symbol primum non nocere. Firstly, don't do harm. I'm guessing. I studied Latin a long time ago. Anyone got a translation for that, let me know. It's got to be something vaguely Hippocratic Oath related, I'm sure. And I love this minimalistic illustration of Mercy here. It's very, very cool. I'm going to see if I can find some way of grabbing that or using that as a desktop. That's really, really cool. It's sort of minimalistic. Sorry that the lighting is not really doing that huge amounts of justice. But that's a really awesome illustration there. Then we've got a few zooms in on the, I'm going to call it the Caduceus staff and Caduceus blaster there. Next up we have Farah, right, okay, speculation hats on. I'm going to throw this one out there and see what you think, but this is other people's thoughts. I'm not sure how I fall on this one. Anyway, traditional art of Farah to start with, all well and good. But next, and the interesting thing here is, have a look at Farah. A lot of people make a lot of, her legs could be normal and inside a suit here. People make a deal of the articulated knees. But then, on this shot, this is what I really like, so I'm going to zoom in on this real nicely. Firstly, very cool seeing her using Rocket Barrage, but you can see that there's this hawk-like apparition, this sort of raptor, I'll call it raptor, this sort of bird of prey-like apparition behind her, which is really cool. I'm going to zoom in on that in a sec. We can see young Farah here, Farah as a kid, which is really, really cool. Young Farina. And then we can also see Farina's mother, Anna Maramari, who was, of course, crack sniper in the original Overwatch strike team. So I'm going to take a little zoom in. So firstly, you can see that cool orange hawk type thing behind her, which is very, very cool. You can then see young Farah in the middle there. Very sweet indeed. And then let's try and zoom even further on Anna Maramari. So love that picture. Again, sorry that my focus is not doing that huge amounts of justice, but very, very nice detailed line art there. So really like that. See a bit more of the rocket launcher here for use against armed forces and small vehicles. Fair enough. The interesting thing that other people kind of speculate on is this suit. So the Raptora suit, limited flight capability, jump jets, and similar. It also says that you've got the concussive blast, rocket launcher, and similar. The thing is that people have tried to speculate on. I don't know how I fall in this one, but have a look at the legs on this suit. Now, the legs on this suit seem to be highly articulated and with knee pieces. Now, people's sort of thought on that is those are way too small to actually fit your legs in, and therefore people are sort of trying to speculate, does Farah have prosthetics? I don't know. I honestly have no idea on that one. You're not going to get a wonderful view here from as much as I'd like to. I'll see if I can take some screenshots of things of this in the future, but you might be able to get a bit of a better view there. So they're quite narrow. I'm pretty sure you could fit a human inside them, so that's a matter of opinion one, I think, whether you want to speculate on that or not. We've got known Reaper art here, but it's very, very cool. And then what we don't have here, we have, I've not seen this before, maybe it's been shown somewhere before, it's kind of a cool example of Reaper going through Shadow Step that I'll pan across. And this illustration feels a bit new, so I'm just going to show you this up top. You just have a look in the top left, you can see this sort of figure running along with guns. He then turns into that, then that. Thanks so much for tuning in. Do let me know what you thought of this vid. I know it was long, but I love the detail in this book. I really wanted to show it off. Please do like, subscribe, comment if you like this below. If you've got any questions, anything in the book that you'd like to see more of, please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Cheers for tuning in. I've been Hammeh. Hope to see you soon for some more Overwatch. Take it easy.